Now let's take a look at the metadata section, and it's located on the left-hand side of the workspace right over here, and it contains two sections. Number one is the EXIF editor, and number two, keywords. Now, the EXIF editor contains lots of useful information, the name of the camera I was shooting with, the resolution, the name of the lens actually, and then the size of the output file as a raw image. It also gives the date and time that the image was taken, as well as the ISO, the f-stop, the shutter speed, the exposure variation, and of course the actual focal length I was using to shoot the image at the time. Shooting in manual mode, this is my focus orientation, which is single point center, no flash, and it was shot raw. Now I can add the name of the author and the copyright information. All of this information will transfer with the image no matter what use I have for it in the future. Now when converting it into JPEG, depending on the software title you use, but within Photoshop and Lightroom you have to say that you want to include the EXIF information in the image when you transfer it into a JPEG. Now the keyword section is very useful, and I'm going to admit something to you. I'm not a real big keyword user because, you know, when I get back from a shoot, I want to limit the amount of work I do on those images as much as possible, and I forego the keyword process, which is something I probably shouldn't do. I'm finding I spend more and more time looking for images when all I would have to do is put in a keyword to find what I'm looking for. So I think I was wrong in that decision as the years have rolled by. But let's look at how these can be helpful to you. And we're going to take this one image right here. And I have not entered any keywords into this image, but I did enter some keywords here. As you can see, I have Horsetail Fall, I have Yosemite, I have Yosemite National Park, and I can add others if I want to. Now this image, also in Yosemite, is of El Capitan, Storm, Yosemite, Yosemite National Park, Yosemite NP, and these are three very common search terms that people use to find images in Yosemite. I can also put sunset clouds and on and on and on. There really is no limit to the number of keywords that I can put on an image. Now this copy of the image has no keywords in it, and I can add those as I want to. And look what happens when I just simply punch in a Y. The previously used word of Yosemite is there, so you hit return once, and then you hit return again, hit the Y again. I can then choose Yosemite National Park, hit enter twice. I can then hit Y a third time and get Yosemite NP, El Capitan, sunset, and I can put sunset clouds, and so on and so on and so on. Now, here's one that has a mistake on it. It says half dome. Well, half dome is here technically, but you're never going to use this image as a reference to half dome, so we're going to go ahead and delete it, and all I have to do is click on this little down arrow, hit delete, and off you go. Now let's say I'm going to do tunnel view, TUNNELVIEW, and that's obviously a misspelling, but I'm going to put it in there anyway. What I can do is click on the down arrow, go edit, and then I can come up here and take out that extra N, and now it's correctly spelled, and everything is back to the way it should be. I can also add sunrise. I can also add snowstorm. I can also add clouds, etc., etc. I can also add Sierra Nevada mountains. It's just endless the number of keywords that you can put in the image. So you're saying to yourself, okay, that's all well and good. How does this help me in day-to-day life? Well, in order to find the images based on the keywords, we'll go to the photo library, and at the very top up here, you'll see a place where you can enter some search terms, but I want to warn you that you have to be very, very exacting in what you enter in here. Let's take a look at how it works. Now, first we're going to put in the term Yosemite, and you'll see several responses to that search term. This is the listing of documents, whether they be Word documents or PDFs or what have you that have the word Yosemite in them, and I have 407. And then you have folders. I have 27,000 folders that have the word Yosemite attached to them. And then currently I have 35 images that have the keyword. As I said before, I don't use keywords that often, so I don't have that many. And then Yosemite NP, which is 6, Yosemite National Park is 10, and Yosemite Spring. So every variation of the term Yosemite is going to be reflected in the results. Let's go ahead and click on this, and we see the responses down here. Now let's look at what happens if you enter some kind of variation. You'll notice one of the terms was Yosemite NP. Let's go ahead and put Yosemite NP, and you see nothing. All right, let's capitalize the N and the P, and you see no responses. Or if I put in the correct designation of the name, I have 6 responses. Now, if I happen to add a comma in there, it goes away. So you can see that you really need to make sure you're putting the exact search term in there. So there you have the metadata section, including EXIF data and the keyword section in DxO PhotoLab.